I think one of the reasons that people are exhausted nowadays is that nothing in our modern society is simple anymore. I mean, it's kind of chaotic and confusing everywhere. I mean, we have billions of apps on our phone. We've got subscriptions that we buy for all kinds of apps, I guess. We've got decisions about food. What are we going to eat? When are we going to eat? How are we going to eat? Where we're going to eat? All these things. And we've got social media. I mean, the whole list really is overwhelming. And on top of that, we have our daily life routine that we have to work with also. The work, the family, the kids, the grandkids. Everything is going on. There's stimulation at 100%. At least that's what it feels like to me. After starting the carnivore diet, which transitioned into the carnivore lifestyle, one of the strangest things that happened to me was realizing just how important eating simply was to my routine, my daily routine, and how impactful it was. It was incredible. So I want to reminisce for a second about the good old days. I use that term. I mean, that's an old cliche term. I'm 55 years old. So when I was little, and we got our first television, that would have been in 1980. I remember it vividly. So it didn't take long for my folks, and my dad in particular, after a day of working, and he worked damn hard, to incorporate sitting down and relaxing in front of the TV, primarily to start off with catching the news. You know, the news program, 5:30 news, 6 o'clock news, whatever it was at the time. And it was a relaxing atmosphere. Now, I will say back then, news, it kind of reminded me of the newspaper. When you got the Sunday newspaper, you weren't reading about what happened on Sunday. You were reading about what happened all week long from the previous Sunday. So the level of news, you still got the news, even on the evening news. They weren't, they weren't really focusing on the active bank robbery that was happening, live at 5, type of thing. It did happen, but the point is that they were covering events that had happened, and now, I'll be honest with you, I haven't turned on a television in probably over 10 years, so I don't even know what I'm missing. But go on any social media, go on YouTube, for example. You're going to be inundated with minute-to-minute live updates on everything, quote-unquote, news-related. And it's like stimulus overload. And if I can be brutally honest, I'm not convinced that we humans are designed to handle, at least I don't bother with it, but we're not able to absorb all of this information on a minute-by-minute basis. So going back to my folks, sitting down to relax to get the news. There's nothing relaxing about the news. I'm just using the news as an example. But times have changed. So now we are in the fast-paced life, the modern lifestyle. Back in 1980, that was modern lifestyle compared to 1940. So it's all relative. I don't discount the importance of my modern day cell phone. I mean, I'm like everybody else. I rely on it for a multitude of different purposes. And but one of the things that it does do, it provides us with 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, updated info on anything that you want. And that's a good thing and it's a bad thing. So, you don't have to think about it too very long to find out, the good and bads. I mean, I use it for research. A lot of people use it for research. It's a handheld It holds the entire humans society of knowledge, the vast human race's knowledge at your fingertips. So, I mean, it's a huge tool, but it's a huge tool that can come with some responsibilities on its use. And I'm not sitting here going to carry on about the use of a cell phone on my Carnivore channel. But I will say that getting back to eating simply and the importance of it, it's one aspect of my life that has been reduced in complexity. Anytime that I can reduce the complexity of anything in my life, I think that is a huge win, because the more we go through the modern life, at least this is for me, the more complexity gets piled on. We don't alleviate the previous issues, the previous piling on of all these complex systems, technology, the news cycle, all this kind of stuff. We just keep piling on more. So it was apparent to me after I started eating the carnivore lifestyle and realized that this is different than just all the health benefits that I got from eating a meat-based diet, beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. There's a lot more to it, at least for me. And I mean, it gets simplified down to my shopping excursions are simpler. My daily planning of what I'm going to eat is obviously simpler. How I prepare my food is a lot simpler. I mean, it just compiles. And I don't take that lightly. Those are big, huge things to me. If you're a busy person, if you can gather up extra time in a day just by making something simple, hey, you're on the right track. I want to reminisce real quick about a problem solution scenario way back in the day. So, I'd mentioned about getting a television back in 1980. So in those years was the VHS tape recorder using, the VCR tape recorder and the VHS tapes and all that kind of thing. And when we bought our first VCR, this was technology. This was new technology. And so I can equate that to buying myself a new phone or buying myself a new computer. New technology to me. But let's go back to the VCR for a minute. So if those of you that might not be old enough, and probably most of you maybe are old enough to remember the blinking 12, the flashing 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. or whatever it was on the VCR, when you plugged it in, you had to program it to what time it was. Most annoying thing in the world. It was a big joke. Who's going to program the VCR? Nobody wanted to spend the time to grab the manual to find out what series of buttons you had to push in order to just change the time on the VCR. So you know what the quick solution was? Instead of going through all the effort, you grab yourself a piece of electrical tape, you go up and you smash it on over the front of the screen of that sucker, and then when you're sitting there watching your movie, you didn't have this flashing 12 distracting you. So I guess my point is that what appeared to be a complicated problem, which could have been solved in a matter of 2 minutes by figuring out how to program the VCR, there was a simple solution. We didn't need to know what time it was necessarily. That's what we had our wristwatches for. We had clocks on the wall. We didn't need an extra flashing time device sitting right next to the TV. So you put a piece of tape over it. Simple solution. Modern life has a way of pulling us in about 10,000 different directions every minute. So obviously eating carnivore offers a lot of extra benefits, and I'm going outside of the immediate health benefits that everybody talks about, and myself included. The brain fog, the loss of weight, the improved health, improved energy, all those great things. But I spent a lot of time considering all of the extra benefits that I have gotten, and I'm guessing that everybody else has too, but that may not be thinking about that those obvious. They're not obvious. They're just kind of cursory things in the background, but they're there. Our life, the flow of responsibilities, things become a little bit more manageable. And when chaos becomes a little bit more manageable, I'm on board. I'm there. I'm not trying to go back in time to what I would consider, obviously from today's time, would be a simpler time. You go back to 1980, that'd be kind of fun. But at the time of 1980, it's all relative. There's still wars. We're covering from wars. We're still covering from crises. There's all kinds of impactful things that happen in lives every day of every week of every year. But when the routines are different due to either technology or whatever that might be happening that has changed through the years, I'm not trying to regain, the way things were done in the old days for the sake of, like eating, for example. But I am looking at it from a different angle of it being more productive, less stressful, less chaotic. And those things are incredibly important to me. Simple doesn't mean perfect. Simple basically means manageable. When things are manageable, then things become easier, more plausible, I guess, put it that way. So myself, I think a lot of people, and myself included, have a yearning or a craving for a simpler way of doing things. And that frees up time. It frees up, relieves anxiety and stress, all the things that I have suffered with, and maybe a lot of other people have too. And I just want to sit here and contemplate just how wonderful that particular aspect is. It's a side effect. It's a side effect of eating the carnivore lifestyle that I never thought I'd even be talking about. But to me, it's a very important one. And I don't take it lightly. By the way, my name is Luke, Captain Carnivore. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate you so very much. Please like and subscribe. And my final thoughts for the day, and I've said this many times, but it's important and profound to me. Listen. Now, I touched on the story about the news and that kind of thing, and I'm not going to reference the news, but I'm telling you that the world is chaotic, and I refer to it as a dumpster fire from time to time. All of that, everything that is going on in the world is primarily out of our control. I have no influence on it. I have no control of it, and so I try to distance myself from it to the point where I don't focus on it. But you focus on something that you don't have any control over and you don't have any influence, you're taking valuable life force away from the things that you can control and the things that you do influence. I can control my diet, my lifestyle, the food I eat. And so therefore I put a lot of focus and energy into it. My family and my wife and my kids and my grandkids, obviously a number one priority. Please love your family, cherish your family, take care of your family, spend time with your family. Secondly, do the same thing with your neighbors. Take the time to say hi to them. They're not family, but they're close to you all the time. So please pay attention to keep an eye out for your neighbors. When you need them, they will be there. Focus on the things that you have control over and the things that you have influence on. That'll be a time well spent. Guys, thanks for hanging out for this long-winded session that I just went through. I want to tell you guys, I appreciate everything, and I'm hoping to catch you on the next one. This is Luke, Captain Carnivore. I'll see you later.